What's up, everyone? We're back with another episode of Dub Jellison Podcast, and I got my boy, the first ever Type 1 diabetic in UFC history, Jordan Williams. Let's go. What's up, brother?
Hey, nothing much, Dub. How you doing today?
Hey, man, I'm chilling. Actually, I didn't say this, but I got COVID, so I'm kind of in quarantine right now. I'm feeling good, though.
What? You got COVID?
Yeah.
How'd it happen? How'd you get the COVID, man?
Bro,
Who you with?
I live in a frat house with 40 other guys. I was bound to get it at some point, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, how you fighting? Is it going good? I mean,
yeah, I haven't really had any symptoms. I've just been like a lot more tired than usual, so it's really
gotcha.
it.
Yeah, man. You'll beat it. Well, as I said before, we started the recording, man. I'm feeling good. I feel great. It just feels like something that well deserved, but at the same time doesn't feel real yet. Like, man, I was able to sleep for the first time like 2 nights ago. I just started sleeping. It's just like, it's crazy. Everything. I'm just I'm just enjoying the pace right now.
What's the support been like from all the people reaching out? I saw you gain like 2,500 Instagram followers.
Yeah, man. I mean, the support's been crazy. I honestly haven't been able to type up with my fingers as many messages I'm getting. But I just want to make a quick side note to all the people who have reached out to me. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for all of you guys reaching out, man. It means a lot. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we'll get into a conversation later about how much people have been supporting me, and it's just PS, bro, it's crazy the amount of support, and not even just the amount, but just the level of support is just on another level right now.
Yeah, I mean, you freaking deserve it, man. I mean, going into that fight, I was hyping it up. I was telling all my friends. We were so excited. I've never been that nervous for someone's fight. I was literally about to throw up beforehand.
Hey, bro. Hey, I feel you. I know the feeling. Watching your boy fight, being there backstage with a friend who's about to be there, and you can't do nothing. All you can do, is just be there. So, dude, and honestly, the size. Come on, the size kind of made everyone nervous too, huh? That Joker was big. That was a big guy.
Okay, so I didn't see the weigh-ins. I saw that picture you posted, and you guys didn't look that.
No, right. That's because he was cutting so much weight.
Yeah, he was huge.
But in the fight, you can see the size difference. But you know what? I tricked everyone with my weight. Yeah. I weigh right now. I weigh 195. I make a solid 10-pound cut to 185, but it's just water. And I take that back. I don't cut weight. I do actually, and I didn't lie. Rather, I didn't lie by saying that I don't like to cut weight, so I don't. I still don't cut weight, but I like to manage my weight. If you are still 15 to 10 pounds overweight a day before the fight, what are you doing? Manage your shit, or you might actually be at a too big of a weight class. But for me, I walk around after practice, my walk around weight is 185, which means before practice I'm 190, 192. I cut a solid 7 pounds of whatever, but and then so the first day the first night of weight cut, I actually, when I get the UFC or Vegas at the UFC hotel where they have everyone posted at least, I weigh 188, 189 on the scale. So my first weight cut when I started, at the end of it I was 182. I was like, oops, I cut way too much weight, and all I did was run 1 mile. And I stayed in this makeshift, or it's like a portable sauna that they give each fighter, and they have a workout room. And I did excuse me, 20 minutes the first night, and I stepped on the scale and 182. I was like, oops, cut way too much weight. And then I thought to myself, oh man, I can just run with this. I can, what? So I rehydrated, gained back 4 pounds, woke up at 185 because I went to bed at 186, woke up at 185. Did the same thing, ran 1 mile, cut down to 180. I ran 25, or I ran 10 minutes, and then I sat in that makeshift sauna for 25 minutes. got down to 180. I drank 1 pound of water, chilled, and then I stepped on the scale, and then like I only weighed 181 for like a couple hours that day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, so like everyone thought that I just on my heaviest moment I weigh 181, and that wasn't the case. I stepped in that scale in that cage at least weighing 190. So it's like he had an extra 10 to 15 pounds of man that he had to deal with that he wasn't expecting. You know, so I'm coming out now with my secret because like, I kind of like the flack I'm getting, like, oh, he's too small and he's gonna get knocked out. I was like, all right, maybe my joke works too good. Like, hey guys, I weigh 195 right now. Like at this very moment, I can go step on the scale. I can show you I weigh 195. You know what I'm saying? I am a normal. I'm just a medium size. Like when you go and you order food at a restaurant, you can get or at a fast food spot, you can get the small, medium, large, or XL. You know, I'm just a medium-sized meal. I'm still in the middle. I'm still in the middle weight class ordering menu. I'm just a medium-sized order. You know what I'm saying? So just like my trick worked really well that night.
Yeah, I mean, so like when you guys stepped in the cage, I didn't really notice it until you guys were actually fighting. I was like, damn, that dude's pretty big.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. I was getting a little nervous because I could tell you were trying to find your shot. And my friends were like, bro, what if he gets knocked out? I was like, wait a minute. Because they don't watch MMA. I've kind of gotten into it. I was like, just wait. And then you went, bah, bah, bah. And I was like, oh, I've never screamed that loud in my life. It was nuts.
So, you know, thanks, man. I just appreciate the support, and I can feel the love. I can feel the love right now through this interview. Yeah, dude. You know, the thing about him is, about finding my range, is that I'm a smaller guy. Yes, I'm a smaller guy. Oh, but even before that, I'm smaller than, because we just discussed this, than people like him. But he is a supersize. He is not normal. He was not a normal 185er. He was a big ass 185er. So you go from medium to super big. That's why the weight gap looks so different. But you know, against Calvin Gastelum, we're not gonna look so different. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Against any one of those guys, like we don't look that different, as you said. Like, you know, on the weigh-in scale when they're sucked up. And he had a good chin. But that night he had weight cut chin, which I know from prior experience is not a strong chin to go into a fight with. You know, so it's deceiving, you know, if you will. So I knew he didn't have that good a head movement, and like you're right. My first jab, the whip was the whippiest one. And it was like short by like 6 inches. I was like, damn, all right. Second one I threw was like short by like 3 inches. I was like, damn, okay, I really got to get in. So when I get it in, that's when he started catching me. And he caught me a couple of good times. But almost off every time he caught me, I caught him on the break or on the exit. But the camera just can't catch it. You just don't see it from the camera angle. But if you listen, like, you'll probably hear some extra sounds that you can't see. And like those are the shots I knew was landing. And the thing that set up was that body kick. That body kick got him straight to the liver, and he didn't. If you watch the video, you'll see his arm drop down here, and for a moment he holds his back hand lower than his lead hand. So I saw that, and then that's when he went to engage. And then I threw a straight left. That straight left ended up to be that post arm that everyone sees me where I post off. And then when I'm pushing off of that uppercut, happened to hit on the liver. If that uppercut would have hit on the other side of the body, on the side I was throwing it, it probably wouldn't have dropped that arm. But I hit him exactly where I got him with the liver kick, and it just dropped his hand down just far enough to come back over top with that straight left. And then that was a chain of events that, you know, caused you and your boys to, you know, rally up.
Bro, you were rallying up too. What you talking about?
Hey, man.
You're going ape in there.
Had to. There's a lot of pressure, you know. Like, people ask me if there wasn't like too much pressure from the side of me just being in a cage, you know, with the guy in there. I mean, or just being at that event with Dana watching. I had been there before. That wasn't nerve-wracking. The fact is that it was nerve-wracking is because, like, hey, man, I done missed the 2 swings at bat, and this is the 3rd swing. I got to get a piece of it, and not only piece, I got to get it in the right direction. Like, no more foul balls, no more strikes. I gotta hit this. I gotta get, like, catch this motherfucker.
You sounded like Nick when you said that.
Aha.
Before I got, I want to talk about like right after the fight and your emotions after that. But before that, like I got my parents to watch you fight, and they were super pumped for it. They'd like never ever watch MMA, and my mom got they got the video of you saying Dub Jellison Podcast, and she loved it. But they just want to say congrats and keep up the good work. But
hey, thank you to your parents, man. Appreciate it.
For sure. So when the ref was pulling you off, like what were your first thoughts? I know you said, "Where's my contract? Give me my contract." But what all was going through your head?
It's like a at that moment, it's like an eerie silence. It's like, and it's already silent. If you could put the loudest crowd in the arena, and after you knock someone out, it's like just quiet. And then like the loudest thing in the room are your emotions. You don't even like realize how silent. Like you could be like saying, I was saying, give me my contract. I didn't realize I was screaming about halfway through, because I told myself before, I was like, hey man, don't give Dana any reason not to like you. If you think about it, I just walked in there and told my new boss, like, fucking hire me. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was like in the back, like saying, if you do what needs to be done, don't just like wig out. Don't say, for example, give me my contract. So I'm like, and that was the first thing that just screamed. And then like I was saying, how many seconds is that? Like, and then I was like, oh shit. I want to watch that on replay. I was like, oh man. All right, just shut up, Jordan. Shut up, because then at some point you're saying like, it like, 2 things I learned, like, emotions after a fight like that are kind of really sort of amazingly hard to control.
Yeah.
And the camera's always rolling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Always rolling. When I did that little dance, I was like just dancing. I was dancing from I was dancing from the camera because I thought the camera was off. Like, it was like one of those moments,
Mm-hmm.
And then they come back and say, oh my god, the camera's on. Oh my goodness. So yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
So was that kind of burden lifted off of your shoulders? I mean, you talked about being on the Contender series 3 times. You won the first one, didn't get the contract. Second fight, you should have won. I had you winning. Dana had you winning too. You kind of had that stolen from you, and then you pick up this huge KO win. Was it just? Could you feel something being lifted off your shoulders?
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, it's like, like you said, one resume. It's like getting like offering for that job, and like you drop off one resume, and then like the guy's like, well, that's cool, you're good, but not good enough. And then the second time you drop it off, and you're just like, like, well, like, oh, you're good enough, but you didn't clash, your paperwork is expired, like you gotta go back and just fix this one little letter on this piece of paper, and then you'll come back, you get a shot again. So yeah, it's like times that. And then the third time I dropped off the letter, I was just like, I fucking just took my resume and was just like, fucking take that, like just slammed it through the door. And it's like, and it's crazy. It's just all the the burden's a lot lifted a lot off my shoulders, but like instantly a new one came on, and I'm just happy that they gave me a fight right away, when my confidence is strong enough to help me carry this new burden of performing well in the UFC. So my confidence is high right now, so it's not really even as like a burden right now, and I'm just really grateful for like this quick turnaround in fights.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But what was your mindset during those? Obviously, it was over a course of 3 years, not being able to get into the UFC. What was your mindset like over those 3 years? And do you think it helped you? Do you think it made you like a stronger person?
Oh yeah, super strong, man. It just that mouthwash comment, it was cheesy, but the closest thing to truth I could say. It was, man, the layoff and how hard it was really to find a fight
Mm-hmm.
just pisses you off. And then the fact that I have the greatest managers in the world, and they're finding everyone else who didn't get robbed by some judges' fights, and they're getting called up into the UFC, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and I'm just sitting there waiting, and I'm seeing like all these, like, even though all those other fighters might have one chance just like me, I'm seeing them, I'm seeing 20 or 30 chances witnessed in front of me, and I'm like, oh man, so by the time I get my shot, I'm like, oh, I better get, I better get it in. So yeah, like it was, man, uh, like that's basically like that feeling of just relief.
Mm-hmm. And you talked about it after the fight. You made me freaking cry. I know you were crying when you talked
Yeah.
become the first ever Type 1 diabetic in the UFC. What does that mean to you to be able to hold that title and um, just just be able to hold that title, to be the first one in the UFC?
I mean, it means the world to me. Like like those unjust stories I hear about, like when kids, like the little girls are like, "Hey, like you're really a world champion fighter," like, and like just the look of confusement and like bewilderness on their face, and they're just um like they're just you could see you could see the blueprints of their life are being changed, and you're witnessing that right in front of your eyes. You're witnessing the little girl. I witnessed the little girl, little boys, just like they're really like changing what they can expect to do in their life, and I'm just blessed to witness that. And I just that means that like that means that and the fact that I'm the first one to do it, it just means that my job is far from over. It's far from done. Like that, like that's what it means to me. I got a lot more work to do. You know what I'm saying? I got to keep doing this. I can't just be the first diabetic ever in UFC history go 0-4, and then UFC just kicks it. Oh fuck them! That's the last time we let any diabetics in here again. And like so my job is far from over. I got a lot more work to do, and the pressure is just just a different variable. And but pressure makes diamonds. And I'm gonna shine bright for these diabetics out there.
Mm-hmm. So actually, the other day I had on a IndyCar driver that's diabetic too. His name's Charlie Kimball. Shout out to him. Um, we talked about you for a second there, but we talked a lot about like having young diabetics having that fighter, that IndyCar driver, that football player, whatever it may be, to look up to and see, hey, this is really possible. Like I could go be a world champion in MMA because I saw Jordan do it. Or like for me, the first Type 1 diabetic athlete I met was Jay Cutler. So I looked up to him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's really important for, I mean, not only diabetics. I know Lorosenko kind of talked about other chronic illnesses, but I think it's really important for diabetics to have that person to look up to. And I think that you're going to turn into that for thousands and thousands of people as your star grows and as the UFC and MMA as a whole get bigger.
Hey man, I appreciate that. And it's people like you and friends like you that you know make it happen and keeping inspiring me to be that light. Sorry, my dog is all hitting the post. Sorry fans for a little technical difficulties, but my dog is trying to get on camera. But yeah, it's thank you. I appreciate that. Let's just hope, like not hope. Let's just collectively pull our strength together and just keep fighting forward in this thing that we call our UFC dream.
Hmm. And I know you, I mean, obviously the fight was just less than a week ago now. Have you kind of had any thoughts about how you want to start using your platform to help other type 1 diabetics?
Speeches, a lot of speeches, and I'm gonna have to be better. I had a day job before, and I'm probably like, depending on how my contract works out and what I can do for performing, like a performance of the night, extension of the contract, then I could stay on this route and really advocate and just let people be aware. Do training sessions, and maybe like let if you're that like host like training seminars and like invite that diabetics to if you're a diabetic you get in free. Like maybe some idea. I have some ideas like that, and a lot of maybe that can't be the case right now because all the COVID and people don't they're scared for the children. So maybe like just post video seminars and just really advocate on how to take care of it and how to get to where I got. I have had diabetes for 10 years now, so and you know what, it started the moment I got diabetes. I had two fights, professional MMA fights, before I found out I was diabetic. And I found out I was diabetic right before I fought Max Griffin. He fights in the UFC already, and I fought him for a 5 3-minute rounds title shot, and I was misdiagnosed at the time. They told me I was type 2 and I was type 1. So from the beginning, Jabrali, come here. You want to get on camera? Come here, baby. I mean, from the beginning, I've had to battle with diabetes, and my training camp. So I just really want to really explain how I got here to those people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I got some strings to pull, but obviously, obviously, I think that you're like, I wrote this in the Instagram post that I made for you, like the day after. I think you're the epitome of what it means to be diabetic. You're a fighter. You don't give up. You've been through a bunch of adversity, and then you're reaping the benefits right now, is what I said. So, I mean, I think you're a great representation of what younger diabetics should look up to. And hopefully you can get some sponsorships and things like that, so you could be a Dexcom spokesperson or Medtronic spokesperson, something like that. But yeah, I mean, we'll talk after this.
Right.
But
yeah, man, and to talk about that now, I would I had some big news. This gave me goosebumps. I got goosebumps to tell you this, man. I just got okay. So there's a leading doctor in New York. His name is Craig Perlman. Shout out to you, Craig Perlman, for being one of the leading endocrinologists in New York. And we already talked, and he doesn't even want to be a sponsor. He just wanted to give me free insulin. He's giving me like the insulin that I could never afford before. The reason why I shop at Walmart for my insulin is because I couldn't afford the insulin that he is now sending me months worth of supplies for free at one time. And the newest cutting edge insulins he's sending to me. The insulin that I used before was a 12-hour insulin, and now it's 48-hour insulin. And he sends me insulin for free now. He says whenever I run out, he's like, he wants to send me more before I run out, but he says if you run out and you need any insulin, please just ask. Send it. You don't need to give me a shout out, or you don't need. I don't need to be a sponsor. But I was like, no, don't take this from me, man. Don't take these from these kids away. Like, you're the first doctor ever has told me to not only continue fighting, but has supported me to be able to do so. And he's going to give me the most top of the line, high quality insulin. And it's just like, my mind is blown. Like, all he had to do was just say, Jordan, I love that you're fighting. Keep doing what you're doing. And that's all he had to say. But this fool, and not a fool, but a very smart and humble man, gracious man, or man I'm gracious for, he said that he's going to basically give me free insulin now. It's like my mind is still on fire from that, and I thank you, Craig Perlman. I thank all those diabetics out there who are listening to this are gonna go out there and just like say, screw you, doctor. Like, I got my proof. I got one. All I need is one, and I got it. And like, we're gonna go forward with this evidence.
well, I'm so happy to hear that, bro. That's insane. Like, I don't even know what to say.
That's dude, it's crazy.
So what was that man's name again?
This is Craig Perlman. That is Perl men. And yeah, he just stepped it up, stepped it up.
Well, he's a beast, man. Shout out to him. Before we start talking about your upcoming bout, I just wanted to say thank you again for giving me that shout out live on ESPN.
Hey.
Yeah, I can't even tell you how many texts and Snapchats and all that stuff that I got. They were like, bro, what the hell? What was that?
Yeah, man.
So like I couldn't go back and screen record it because like the UFC owns the content, but I figured out a way. So I have it on my phone now, but I can't post it anywhere.
But you got as long as you have the video evidence, the people you show in person are the important ones anyway. So,
yeah, 100%. But I mean, again, I just want to say thank you. That was insane to hear that, and it means a lot coming from you. Like I talk to my friends about you all the time. You're pretty much my favorite athlete now. You have been since we did our first podcast. But I mean, it means the world.
Hey man, I appreciate it. Hey man, it's just like, why not share that moment, and then all it takes is like just remembering, who remembers you, and so I appreciate, like, just take it into consideration that the reason why I said that is because I consider, I appreciate you, and so like you can just already consider us even.
But I mean, 100%. So back to your fight, you got a fight on October 3rd. Talk about how you guys went about getting that fight and the quick turnaround, because it's, I mean, less than a month away now.
Dude, I got that fight. I was really, I got asked an interview before. They're like, "Hey man, so what's your plans and what would you like to, if you get this UFC contract? What would you like to do?" I'm like, dude, like, nah, man, I'm ready. I'm hungry. I just want to keep on fighting. I'm in shape, and I've been waiting a long time for this. And like, I would love to be there, or just like I heard Abu Dhabi is around for like 4 or 5 weeks, so it'd be cool to go out there. And it was just a small interview, and so by the time I won the fight, that thought it came up when I was at that press conference. I don't know if you watched the press conference after at the table after Laura Cinco was done making me cry, and I collected my wits, and I had actually a good interview, and I just thought a thought came to mind because Daniela Wolf, she won her fight, and they asked her like, when do you want to get back in the octagon? What's your plans? Like, what would you like to do with this career? And she's like, well, you know what? I just think first things first, we gotta get back to the gym. I just want to get back to the gym and get the training, work on what I need to work on, go back to the drawing board, and all the stuff. And then never at the end of the question, she never answered it. And so when they asked me, they're like, so Jordan, what do you want to do? What do you want to do with this career? With this new road that you got. And it's like, and then that's when they got me all kind of feeling myself. And I don't know if I said this comment before or after, but I made a comment about my face being pretty, and I don't plan on changing and stuff. Yeah, none of those all planned. It just came out because one fight I came out looking ugly, but and so I was like, hey, I'll go pretty right now. I don't plan on this changing. It's like, the doctor said I need to wait a couple of days for, the train, but I hear they're having fights in Abu Dhabi for 4 weeks. So, I think I can heal quick enough to be on one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, on my way back I wasn't even home yet from the airport. I'm like getting texts from my manager, and he's like, do you want to fight October 3rd? And I'm like, 1, 2. I'm doing the math. That's Abu Dhabi. He's like, yes, sir. I was like, what the fuck? I literally just asked for this. Like, they really hit me with some asking you shall receive type of. I was like, I was like, I had not even, dude. I was still not sleeping yet from getting the UFC contract, and then they just throw that on my plate, I didn't even come down from my UFC contract high, and now you just put me on this super high about like I'm about to be on Fight Island. Like, come on, are you serious? Like, and what perfect timing? Like, I'm confident it's against another UFC debuter. He's gonna have his UFC jitters. Mine are gonna be quiet. I'm not gonna have mine, and there's going to be no arena. I've fought in a quiet arena 3 times. It'll be my 4th time in a quiet arena. And he has to do that his first time. And when his UFC jitters are the loudest thought ever in his mind, he can't even hide from the sound of the crowd. The crowd helps. Don't say that the crowd gives you jitters. No, your jitters are there whether the crowd is there or not. So this crowd isn't going to be there to help him hide behind his UFC jitters. And I'm like, dude, they're setting me up, man. I'm like, oh, this is like, I gotta win. They're hooking me up. I gotta win. Like, how many people can say in their UFC Octagon debut that they've had more Octagon experience than their opponent? Just like, it's gonna be a show, man. I'm like, there's obviously that chance where he can show up, you know, and I respect him for that. That's why he got the offer. But you know what? I'm so confident right now, and I'm on a high right now. I'm sipping my own Kool-Aid, if you will, and I'm not gonna put my drink down yet.
Hey, don't ever put your drink down. That's what got you here, bro.
Hey.
So why do you think? First of all, who is your opponent? You texted it to me, but I don't know how to say his name.
I mean, Nasadine, like involved something. But you know, the Russian sniper MMA. You could search the Russian sniper is his screenshot. He's fighting out of France. You know, he's again. I guess he's 6'3" too, but he usually fights at 170 also.
Yeah, I saw that when you texted. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, which is another, you know, like, hey man, he's a small guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here's your first fight. You know, but like for me, it's like I feel like the small guys are just as hard as the big guys, because the big guys they have that weight cut chin. You know, everyone, if you just muster up the strength to realize, oh, okay, he's a big guy. Like, and I've had to do that for 6 fights now. Like, oh, he's a big guy, you know, and I've knocked them all out besides one. So it's just like I at this point, I'm not scared of the big guys anymore. You know.
Yeah. So how do you feel that you match up with him? We kind of talked about over text that he's more of a wrestler, more of a ground guy. So how do you feel like you match up with him? And have you watched any of his previous fights?
Yeah, I watched like 2 or 3, and my coach actually found a sparring or a training session. But you know, they do good about keeping his stuff off the web. So it's kind of hard to find too much video, but I've seen a couple. He's good at moving backwards in his back foot. He's got a nice right hand, just like Rodriguez, and a crafty left hook. You know, but he's got some ground and pound finishes, or win via punches. I think they're on the ground, and then he's got a Kimura finish, another submission finish, a rear naked finish, and then so like he's a ground fighter, and I just like the matchup. The matchup was great. We just watched an 8-time world champion, Brazilian jiu-jitsu artist, black belt from Brazil, you know, trained with Anderson Silva, Leo Chita, Jacare Souza, and another dude like Victor Belfort. Not Victor, but like and like he couldn't take me down. I think this fight's gonna go wherever I want it, you know, and that's why I like this matchup. And if I want to wrestle him, if I want to take him down, which I think I might just throw in at some points in the fight, just to throw his rhythm off. I think those are going to be good possibilities as tools for me as well.
Mm-hmm. And we've talked about, I mean, obviously the size discrepancy between you and Rodriguez. Would you ever consider going back down to 170? I know you fought there before.
You know. Well, let's just see how. Well, now I have all the resources of the PI, the UFC Performance Institute, and the doctors over there, nutritionists that can help me set up a game plan. And that sponsor I was talking about, one of the new insulins they sent me has been known to make you lose like 5 pounds in weight. So I haven't started taking it yet before this next fight, you know, because I want to keep that 5 pounds, but. After this next fight, we're going to try a new insulin, and that's just one of the tools. Like, you know, I got higher quality insulin that's going to help me, lose weight. So we'll see. I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no. I don't have enough information to confirm on that.
And before I let you go, I know we've been talking for, it feels like 5 minutes, but it's been close to like 40. Obviously, I messaged you after this news broke, but your boy Nick Diaz talking about a return. So what are your thoughts on that? And have you or Dave or anyone in your team talked to him or Nate about Nick's return?
We're excited. I'm excited. I'm just happy that he's finally getting to a state of mind and a physical place to where we can do this, and I can't wait till he can start training again, and neither can Jabali. So all right, we haven't talked to them directly since we've heard this news. I was in the middle of my own training camp, and then I am just in the middle of getting ready for Fight Island. So I'm gonna reach out to Nick and Nate and just say congrats, dude, on the squad being back together. And because I was there, I helped Nick train for who was it? Oh, Anderson Silva. I went down there for that fight and did some sparring rounds with him. So we go back, man, and I'm just ready. I'm ready to get some more training in with my guy. I'd love it. Oh my goodness, thanks for reminding me. I'm about to hit him up now. It's like it's like he's my boy and everything, but like you get a little bit more star power, they respond a little bit quicker. So let's hopefully see that I gained enough more after this fight.
Yeah, for sure.
But he tells me, I'm just kidding. He tells me, Nate always tells me to come down and he has an apartment for the fighters that come down and visit, and he's invited me to stay there whenever I want to come down. And I just haven't hit him up yet after the whole thing yet, because I don't want, after you made up that claim of being retired, and then so I just gave him his time with that. But I'm gonna hit him up.
All right, bet. Update me on that. Hopefully you can get in there, get some rounds in with them.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, I'm gonna have to let you go. But again, I'm super happy for you. I'm super proud of you first and foremost. It's hard for me to like wrap my head around having a diabetic in the UFC now. I mean, I can only imagine what's going through your mind. But thank you so much for everything. All the people you're going to inspire, for shouting me out on ESPN, and for doing your thing, honestly.
Hey, Dub, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate your support and your love as a fan, and just your love as a friend. And I'm always down to rap with you, and like give you the latest info that I have to offer. And like you said, man, I'm still wrapping my head around being the first diabetic in the UFC too. And so, like I said before, my job is far from over. You're gonna be seeing a lot more work from me, and that's a promise.
All right, man, for sure. Take care, stay safe, and good luck in Abu Dhabi. Everyone tune in ESPN Plus.
Yes. Thanks, brother. Have a good one.